This is a instructional tutorial on how to add a new project that we are bidding in pre-construction into the sales report. So where we're starting here is on the portal, and where we want to go to is sales. Now, if you're on the portal and you are not seeing this sales link, you do not have access to it. So you can reach out to Tina to have yourself added so that you have access. If you do have it here, I'm just going to click on sales. And we come to this dashboard. This defaults to whoever's looking at it, so it's defaulting to my dashboard, shows projects that I'm actively working on. If to add a job to here, we go over here to this button, add project, and we get into this dashboard. Now, you do not need to fill out all of this information when you're first putting a job into the dashboard here and so that it's added to the sales report. In general, this is divided into 3 sections, and the easiest way to think about it is the first section you need to fill out is this leftmost column. So key things that you need to fill out when you're first setting up a job: bidding division. So WWG is for Fremont Glass. You can see we also have Las Vegas, and we have Laverne. We also have SPD right there. Sorry, that scrolling got a little out of control. So you're able to choose what you want. The other companies have their choices here too. Project name, you're able to fill in what the project name is. What is the address? Action is what's that next action that we're taking on it. So examples here, if you're adding a job, you may very well be budgeting that job. You may be hard bidding it. Possibly you're adding a job that we're waiting for documents to come in on. So you're going to put what that next action step is. And finally, you're going to select the estimating class. We've got other videos you can watch to see what the definition of each of these classes are. Action date, this largely is going to be your due date. So for example, if the job that we were doing was a hard bid that was due at the end of the month, we would go ahead and put in the date that it is due. Make sure you're putting full date there. You can also click on the calendar to be able to do that. Estimator defaults to me. If it's blank, you can go ahead and put your name in there. Who the general contractor is, who the contact with the general contractor is, the owner, the architect, the structural engineer. Some of these things you may not know yet, and that's okay. You don't have to fill them out. But key things, if you know it, fill it out. You should definitely know who the GC is if we were reached out to. You should know who the architect is. We can put that. Project manager, if it's just a job you're bidding on, we don't know who the PM is yet, so that's going to stay blank. Architect contact, if you know who the contact is, you can put that in. The last part that's really key here to get in here, if you have the information, is the schedule info. The key thing we want is the field start. If you know when the job is expected to go in the field, we want to get that in. Reason being that will show up into the sales report so that everyone can see roughly when this job is going. That is the key information you need to get in. There is just one last piece that you need to fill out right at the beginning here, or at least as soon as you have the information. That is contract amount. That gives everyone looking at the sales report an idea of the size of the project. Now you may be thinking, hey, this job just came in. I've only looked at it for a second. I have no idea what the amount is. That's okay. Don't put anything in. Ideally, by Friday, though, you want to get some kind of amount in there. And again, this could be a really rough ROM. Maybe you're looking at the building and you're going, okay, it's a 3-story, small, relatively smaller building. It's got a little bit of curtain wall, some punched windows. I think it's going to be $2.5 million. That's fine. It just gives people a sense when they look at the sales report of how much it is. If you're unsure on the amount, definitely talk to your manager about that and they can help you with that. As you go along and you get a more refined estimate of what it'll be, you'll update it. But this just allows everyone to have a sense, because otherwise it's hard to tell, is this job $30 million or is it $30,000, right? We just want to get that. The balance of these sections here don't need to get filled out right now. These would be filled out after we actually are awarded the job, or at least we believe the job will be awarded. For example, if you think that a job is going to be awarded to us, we have the could book in 90 days button that we click. The reason we click this button, this gets it onto our production schedule. You do not go about clicking this button without talking to your manager. We'll agree that, hey, this is a project that we have a high potential to get. We want to click it so it shows up on the production schedule. If we do click that, we would want to just fill out some basic other system information here, how many units we have, the different types of units, to fill all that out. Again, you're not going to do that until after you estimate it. The key thing here, when you're first putting a project into the sales report, focus on this left-hand column, filling this left-hand column as complete as possible, and putting in a rough idea of what the dollar value of the overall scope would be. That is how you get a when you're done, go ahead and hit create. That'll get it added to the list. So that's your process to get these added.